Britney Spears isn't just a pop star, she's a cultural landmark. If you were alive in the late 1990s or early 2000s, her music was impossible to escape. She wasn't background noise, she was the moment. School dances, radio countdowns, MTV premieres, magazine covers, Halloween costumes. Britney wasn't famous, she was everywhere. But behind the glitter, choreography, and platinum records was a reality that would later shock the world. For 13 years, one of the most successful entertainers on the planet lived under a legal arrangement that stripped her of basic freedoms most adults take for granted. This is the story of how Britney Spears rose to superstardom, fell under relentless pressure, lost control of her own life, and how millions of people helped her take it back. The meteoric rise of a pop phenomenon. Britney Jean Spears was born in December 1981 in McComb, Mississippi, and raised in Kentwood, Louisiana. From an early age, it was obvious she had something special. Singing competitions, dance lessons, talent shows. Britney wasn't playing around. She wanted the stage, and the stage wanted her back. After stints on the Mickey Mouse Club alongside future stars like Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera, Britney re-entered the spotlight in 1999 with a song that permanently embedded itself into pop culture. Baby One More Time. The result? Total domination. The song topped charts worldwide. The album sold tens of millions of copies. Suddenly, Britney wasn't just a teen singer, she was the face of a generation. Every move she made was monetized, photographed, analyzed, and sold. Tours sold out instantly. Endorsement deals rolled in. Albums followed one another in rapid succession. By the mid-2000s, Britney Spears was one of the most commercially successful artists in history, with an estimated net worth exceeding $60 million by 2007. From the outside, it looked like the dream. From the inside, the pressure was crushing. When fame stops being fun, being famous sounds glamorous until you realize it's a 24/7 job with no off switch. By 2007, Britney's personal life had become tabloid fuel. Her marriage to Kevin Federline ended in a messy divorce. She became a new mother under the harshest public scrutiny imaginable. Paparazzi followed her relentlessly, outside her home, inside her car, even during moments of visible distress. Then came the moments the media would replay endlessly. The shaved head, the umbrella incident, the constant headlines asking whether she was losing it. What often gets lost is context. Britney was exhausted. She was grieving the loss of privacy, autonomy, and control over her own narrative. She wasn't spiraling in private. She was unraveling in front of cameras that made money from every breakdown. In early 2008, after a series of highly publicized incidents, Britney was hospitalized, and that moment would change the course of her life for over a decade. The conservatorship begins. In February 2008, a California court placed Britney Spears under a legal conservatorship. Her father, Jamie Spears, was appointed as the primary conservator. On paper, conservatorships exist to protect individuals who are unable to manage their personal or financial affairs. They are typically temporary and often used for elderly patients or those with severe cognitive impairments. Britney was 26 years old. Under this arrangement, Jamie Spears gained control over nearly every aspect of her daughter's life. Finances, career decisions, medical treatment, and even personal relationships. The conservatorship was supposed to be short-term. It wasn't. Despite being legally deemed incapable of managing her own life, Britney returned to work almost immediately. She released albums. She went on tour. She headlined a wildly successful Las Vegas residency. She generated tens of millions of dollars. The irony was impossible to ignore. She was considered too unstable to control her own money, but perfectly stable to earn it. Cracks in the perfect image. For years, the conservatorship existed largely unquestioned by the public. Britney appeared functional. She performed flawlessly. The machine kept running. But fans began noticing things that didn't sit right. Her social media posts felt repetitive and oddly scripted. Her interviews sounded carefully controlled. Comments were disabled. When fans asked direct questions about her freedom, responses felt evasive or non-existent. In 2019, rumors intensified when Britney canceled a residency and reportedly entered a mental health treatment facility. Around the same time, a voicemail surfaced from a fan hotline alleging that Britney was being held against her will and threatened if she didn't comply with treatment. Whether every claim was accurate or not, one thing became clear: something wasn't right, and fans weren't willing to stay quiet anymore. The Free Britney movement explodes. What began as quiet concern on internet forums slowly transformed into something far larger, a global movement demanding accountability. The hashtag Free Britney started appearing again and again, trending across platforms as fans compared notes, asked uncomfortable questions, and refused to accept surface-level explanations anymore. Soon, online discussions spilled into the real world. Supporters gathered outside Los Angeles courthouses holding signs, chanting her name, and demanding transparency. What made the movement unusual was its diversity. Teen fans, legal professionals, disability rights advocates, and longtime observers of celebrity culture all found common ground. Celebrities began speaking out as well, publicly questioning how someone deemed incapable of making basic life decisions could still be expected to perform on stage and generate millions in revenue. Legal experts added fuel to the fire. Attorneys and scholars explained just how rare Britney's situation was, pointing out that conservatorships are typically short-term measures, not multi-decade arrangements involving full-time employment and global tours. The more people learned, the harder it became to ignore the contradictions. In 2021, the documentary Framing Britney Spears pushed the issue into the mainstream. It forced viewers to re-examine years of tabloid coverage, exposing how media exploitation, public mockery, and legal silence worked together to erase Britney's agency. The story was no longer about celebrity chaos. It was about power, control, and a system that functioned with little oversight. The tone of the conversation changed almost overnight. Britney was no longer the punchline of late-night jokes or tabloid headlines. She was a woman whose voice had been sidelined for years, and soon she would finally speak for herself. Britney speaks, and the world listens. In June 2021, Britney Spears addressed the court directly for the first time. What she said stunned the public. Her testimony was raw, detailed, and unmistakably clear. She explained that she had been forced to work against her will, denied access to her own finances, and placed under strict personal control. She described medical decisions being made without her consent, including being prevented from removing an IUD because those overseeing her conservatorship wanted her to continue working. She spoke of living under constant surveillance, of being punished for resisting, of feeling frightened, trapped, and stripped of dignity. There was no confusion in her voice, only exhaustion and resolve. This was not a woman who didn't understand her situation. This was a woman who understood it all too well. Public reaction was immediate and intense. Support surged across social media, news outlets, and political circles. Judges began taking action. In September 2021, Jamie Spears was formally suspended as conservator. Just 2 months later, in November, the conservatorship was officially terminated. After 13 years of legal control, Britney Spears was free. Her response was simple, emotional, and deeply human. She called it the best day ever. Life after control, and the legacy she left. Freedom didn't instantly fix everything. Trauma doesn't work that way. In the years since, Britney has focused on healing. She married, divorced, wrote her memoir, The Woman in Me, and shared her story in her own words, unfiltered and unapologetic. Her experience sparked real change. States began re-examining conservatorship laws. Advocacy groups gained visibility. Thousands of people under similar arrangements suddenly had a spotlight shining on their situations. Britney's legacy is no longer just about pop music. It's about autonomy, accountability, and the danger of systems that silence people for their own good. She reminded the world of something powerful. Success doesn't protect you from control, and silence doesn't mean consent. More than a comeback story. Britney Spears didn't just escape a conservatorship, she exposed a system. For 13 years, she was controlled, restricted, and spoken for. But she endured, she survived, and when she finally spoke, the world listened. Her story isn't just tragic, it's transformative. It changed laws, it changed conversations, and it changed how we see fame, power, and mental health. Britney is free now, and because of her, others may one day be free too. If you want more untold stories like this, like and subscribe. And if Britney's journey moved you, let us know your thoughts in the comments below.